Good evening. This is the Planning Board meeting for the town of East Fishkill for March 18th, 2025. Will everyone please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We will do a roll call, starting with John.
John Giovanoli.
Don Pappy.
Lori G.
John Eichman.
Richard Campbell.
Ed Miyoshi.
Sarah Bledsoe.
Okay. Upcoming meeting dates are April 15th, 2025 and May 20th, 2025. We have minutes from the last meeting on February 18th, 2025. Could I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the first item on the agenda this evening is public hearing for Landmark Union. Could I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll turn it over to the applicant. Yeah, if you would.
Oh man, I shouldn't have done that.
All right, I think we're good. Good evening. My name is Andy Del Vecchio. I'm a member of the firm of Beatty Padavano on behalf of the applicant this evening. Good evening. I started looking back at my notes and I realized we're closing in on a year since we started the process. We were hoping to come to a conclusion tonight. I'm not sure we'll get there. We have been before you. You've seen the preliminary plans. We have been to ACO board, received their approval. We've been to the zoning board to secure their approval for the variances. We're here essentially on a final site plan to redevelop the property known as 793 Route 82 for a new Trace bank with a drive-up ATM. I understand that some comments were received this morning or issued this morning by your professionals. Most of them appear to be minor in nature, where we should be able to accommodate them. They're what I call tweaks or fine-tuning of the plans, nothing that we don't believe we can handle in correcting the drawings. I have with me our project engineer. He can walk you through generally what the overview of the project is. If you'd like an overview, I know you've seen it before. I don't want to repeat it unless you would care to hear that overview.
I think a brief overview would be helpful to us, and perhaps you could even walk through just briefly the variances that you obtained from the zoning board at their last meeting. Sure.
Just need to get my sheet on the variances. I'll put the variances in a couple of categories if I can. The more significant of the variances were the signage variances, both in terms of the total sign area, total square footage. Technically, there are a number of directional signs on the property. They were classified as freestanding signs, so we had a variance for the number of freestanding signs. That coupled with the location of the parking stalls that are located closest to Main Street, they infringe upon the front yard and side yard buffer. Those variances were obtained from the board. I believe the final variance that we secured was for lot coverage. Property as it was currently or previously developed was over the lot coverage. Our initial plan called for bringing that number closer into conformity, but because of some requests we received relative to connecting this property with the adjacent properties, we had to put some more impervious coverage back. So while it's still lower than it was, it's not quite as low as the ordinance requires, so we secured that variance as well. So, Matt, I think those are the variances. Yeah.
Thank you.
Provide that overview.
Just want to show this whole site here. So just for the record, Matthew Cheka with Stonefill Engineering and Design. Just to, again, just give the board a quick overview here. So we all know the site. We're on Route 82 within the municipality, just I'll say west of the downtown area. We are the property to the west of the Pizza Village, and then just to the east of the old hot dog stand that's now abandoned. We're proposing a 4,100 square foot Chase Bank fronting this property with 23 parking stalls and a drive-through facility. Based on Andy's comments and statements today, we've tweaked the plan based on zoning approval and correspondence with the town consultants. With that, we have the trash enclosure in the rear of the facility, as you can see in the back of the parking area. We've also made a connection for cross-connectivity, I'll say, for the Pizza Village site to the northeast portion of the parcel. This allows for future developments to access and cross-access our site with the Pizza Village site, should that site be developed later down the line. The site's fairly straightforward. We have parking along the front, parking along the side, and then we loop around counterclockwise with our drive-through facility. Both of the drive-through facility lanes are 12 feet. The drive-through lane itself and the bypass, which meets the municipal code requirements. One thing that we discussed historically, been in front of this board and others, is the lighting for the project. So since this is a Chase Bank, Chase takes their lighting security requirements very seriously. So there's a 24 access vestibule in the front of the site, which is or I guess the main entrance, which is on the east side of the building facing Pizza Village. That needs 24 access for a card reader to gain access to the ATM inside. Similarly, just mirroring that is where the ATM, drive-up ATM is. And just to note, that's a non-human tellerized, it's automatic ATM. There won't be a physical person there, so the transactions can happen 24/7. Per the state requirements, we need to light both of those entrances up based on New York State requirements and Chase requirements. So the lighting's gonna be slightly elevated compared to a normal commercial lot. Again, we've received comments from Michelle, the town planner, and we will reduce as best as we can to make sure it's not overly glaring. We understand that concern, but the light levels are needed per those security requirements for the ATM vestibule and the drive-up itself.
The drive-ups, is that 24/7 or that's not 24/7?
I believe it's 24/7, yeah.
The drive-up is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an ATM, it's not, there's no human there, so.
Oh, there's never a human there?
No,
Even in the daytime, it's not like a window?
It's an ATM, it's literally a machine.
Period. Okay.
Attached to the building on the facade, drive up, you do your transaction.
No vacuum or none of that stuff.
No pneumatic system, nothing like
Okay.
that, yeah. That's essentially it. We're coordinating with the DOT. That's a long lead item. We've been in front of them. There's a 3-stage process. Stage 1 is just a sketch plan. Stage 2 is a formal submission that gets the full drainage analysis we prepared, as well as these drawings. So they're receiving all the documents that the town has received. We do need to make a minor change in resubmission for the Stage 2 process, which we've had in front of the DOT for a few months now, just because we've adjusted the front curb cut entry slightly based on feedback from the consultants, the town consultants. So we're moving forward with that process, and we expect to hear back from them in a few months, and we'll keep the town coordinated. We've been keeping Jackie in the correspondence to see the progression with the DOT. Other than that, once we receive, hopefully once we receive site plan approval, we've been working with the town engineer and his staff to finalize our utility connections for water and sewer approvals. And, Scott's been great to just coordinate with for coordination purposes. Other than that, be here to answer any other questions that the board has.
Okay, any questions by board members?
Have your elevations changed, and do you have them here? They're usually part of our public hearing.
They have not changed since they were approved by ACO Board. They
Okay.
underwent significant change at ACO Board.
Okay.
Other questions from board members?
I remember there was an issue with the, the vestibule for the ATM was hanging over, it could cause an issue with the fire equipment. Has that been worked out?
My understanding, our fire consultant met with the town's representatives. We've installed some grass pavers to allow for additional maneuvering area on the swing around the building so that that overhang or that covering could be comfortably made by a fire truck.
So that overhang that the board member was just referencing is toward the back. The pavers that were added are toward the front, is that correct?
Correct. The overhang is where the ATM is. So there's a 2-foot overhang that is
24-foot lane.
24-foot lane, so it'll be 22 feet clear on a one-way access for the truck to maneuver. Furthermore, like Andy mentioned, we've added these pavers, right, like you can see on the screen there, that are those honeycomb hatches. That will allow excess maneuverability for the truck to utilize should it need to pull off and have extra maneuverability should the truck need that.
Can you bring up the turning diagram?
Yes. So we apologize that the original turning diagram, which was a comment from the fire board, was misprinted, and we've included that in this updated PDF, but it hasn't been shared yet. This shows the fire truck maneuverability here. So specifically at the areas, you have plenty of area from the overhang, which I'm kind of highlighting with this cursor, to the edge of curb line here. And you can see the 2 black lines are the edge of the fire truck. And then similarly down there by the, pervious pavement area.
Can you scroll down a bit, though? Onto 82.
Yep.
So we're coming in on the right-hand side, right? Looping in around, so you can see like that extra large swoop that we provided, and then leaving in the same direction.
So you're accessing it from the suicide lane, quote unquote, the suicide lane.
That's what
Not
it's
a
there
common
for.
term.
I just want the fire department to be not accessing it from the actual westbound lane, but from the suicide lane.
It's a large truck, it's their ladder truck, and I can have the fire department comment on that, but it's gonna be a tight turn for any maneuverability on any of those roadways.
I see you've got us coming in from the correct direction now. And those turning radius correspond to our actual ladder truck? now?
Exactly, that document you have in front of you, yeah.
Is there any plan to put a curbing, for lack of a better word, between the in and out?
You're saying in between here?
A pork chop in between.
No, we're not anticipating. any
That's all going to be
It's all
open?
going to be open. As you see it there, that's just a striped line that you see in the drawing now. Yeah, we're not going to bisect the intersection, no.
Because the other thing, if you'd lower that a little bit, a little more.
I'm trying to just give you a little bit more, yeah.
When we originally talked with your fire protection gentleman, that whole section of pavers was further back. It actually was what we agreed on at the meeting with him. It would stop at basically the front of the building, and it was moved back further towards the rear of the building in case we had a problem making that swing.
Yeah, this whole area is pavement. You have two 12-foot lanes.
What I'm seeing now, it looks fine.
Yeah.
But you don't need to do the pavers.
Sure, we'd love to throw additional
Yeah.
snow storage area there or plantings.
Or more landscape?
Or more landscaping. whatever's
Landscaping, I
preferred,
think,
yeah.
is what they're looking for. But as long as we can get around and make that curb, that turn without
Up here.
going off the roadway,
Yeah.
right around the ATM area?
Yep.
Then we're good.
Yeah, you have plenty of room.
And like I said, the original agreement that we had with him was those would all be further back anyway, in case we did have to swing a little wide, because the original plan showed, I think, grass in that area.
Right.
All right, but,
We
and
gave you
it
pavement.
was going to stop at the face of the building. So you can
Yeah, you have pavement now, so that's, you have
do away,
blacktop.
you can do away with it.
Okay.
If I could make a comment, if you could scroll back up again towards 82. So you have that one light pole on the island there.
Here.
That basically touches the line and should, this is a computer-generated turning path, so should,
You're saying this pole here?
yeah, to me, I think that location is suspect that if a truck were to jump that curb, which it could, now you're into the light pole. And now you might damage the truck with the light pole. So I don't know if that light pole could be shifted some.
It probably shouldn't be right on the edge of the curbing.
Can we keep in that island but move it page down?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just so it's not so close to
Yeah, we
where
can
the
shift
truck.
it slightly.
The truck can jump the curve without any damage,
That's
but
not,
the
that's
light
not
pole's
going to
another issue.
affect our security lighting. That will affect our overall lighting and actually help Michelle's comment to reduce the lighting levels. So we have no objection to that.
So if the turn is being made from the so-called suicide lane, is that still possible when the highway improvements are put in place?
That is a very good point.
Yeah, good question.
That is a very good point, because if that project came to be, that lane would be eliminated.
Got it.
And we use that lane a lot with the traffic going both ways on 82. Because there's
But
no
if it's-
place for the car.
But if it is eliminated, the only way it would be eliminated if there would be a circle at the end of Trinca.
Well, just to play devil's
Fire truck could hit the circle and come back the opposite direction, so I think maybe that's the answer to that.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Because they had already showed that
Unless there's a
access,
median.
and that was easier access than this coming from
Coming from the other
Is there a
side.
concrete median?
Usually.
Yeah, I'll definitely come.
Yeah. So you could take the ladder truck past.
Speak, wait a second, maybe I misspoke, I'm thinking too quick on my
Right-hand
feet.
turn.
You hit that circle and you come
That was
opposite
You're
direction.
getting into Dunkin' Donuts.
There'll be a median?
You won't be able to access it from the opposite direction.
No.
You won't
It's
be
going
able
to
to.
widen each other, the other
No,
two,
misspoke.
so,
Right. That's what you would think. Unless it just
I
widens
mean,
the
I don't know
sidewalks.
about that.
So perhaps this needs a little bit of work?
I think it needs a little work, yeah.
Plaza should think.
Other questions and comments by board members? Questions and comments by our professional staff?
I just had a question for, I don't know if you guys have addressed, there was a concern during the prep meeting of the sewer line, and there was a wall or improvements over on top of that sewer line that they were concerned about. I don't know if they've talked about that at all.
So when they apply for their sewer and water connection permit, we're going to work through those details then, as
Okay.
far as where they're actually going to be located.
Okay, so you can move it out of the way?
That'll be part of the
Okay.
permitting.
There was just concern over where your sewer line was being shown, and any improvements having to be uprooted in case there was a repair or anything that had to be done.
They have flexibility on the actual locations of those utilities, so,
Did water and sewer exist at that site already?
yes.
Take the truck over.
So they're going to have to eradicate what was there or replace it?
The sewer was never connected, it's right there
Oh, the
adjacent to the
spur's
site.
there, but they never were connected.
Never connected, and the water, they were connected, but there'll be a new connection.
So there's a septic system there that will be abandoned at this point?
I'm going to say yes.
There was a well on site that we're decommissioning per the county requirements. There was no sign of a septic system. I think they had a sewer connection to that ladder on the back, no? We have no record of a septic system.
Yeah, the sewer's relatively new, much newer
Yeah.
than the building itself, so there had to be a septic system.
Yeah.
Yeah, it predated, yeah, because they were still connected to the well.
Yeah.
And there was no sign of a manhole or a tank that we're aware of, but should we uncover something on site, it will obviously be decommissioned in accordance with the county requirements, 100%. And I believe that just involves just removing the tank itself and replacing it with clean sand. And then just writing a letter to the county that this is no longer in use and abandoned.
Okay. And are there wetlands permit issues you're still working on?
We're working through those.
Okay. Any other questions or comments by board members or staff? If not, I'll open it up to the public. Are there any members of the public here to speak for or against the project? There being none, have we satisfied sufficient issues, do you think, to be able to move forward?
I think it depends on what, if anything, needs to be changed with regards to the fire apparatus access.
I would agree. I think that might be a stickler.
I think we should maybe adjourn until we get that settled, because something might have to change on the site plan.
It's been kind of an ongoing issue for the last several meetings, and one that still seems to defy a solution for the moment. So with that, then, I'll accept a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
So moved.
I would ask that maybe the public hearing be closed at this point. I mean, if there's no comments, we're only coming back to refine the access. That way we avoid having to repost and update our postings and the like.
I think the concern is what other changes are going to be required at the site in terms of the site design in order to be able to accommodate that truck to come in without coming from the so-called suicide lane. I hate to use that term.
I hear you, and I hate to foreshadow maybe bad news, but I think it's not going to be just this property that's affected with access. If that side of the street is closed off, it's going to be something that afflicts the entire other side of the street for access coming from that way. And I'm hopeful that we can find something that works, but I don't think it's going to be totally a solvable solution from our perspective, because it really is going to be how the state decides to make the improvements in front of the property. Unfortunately, I tend to be overly blunt, but that's how I see that issue. We're happy to study it. We're happy to work with your professionals to see how we address it.
There's other
But
ways to address it.
it may be beyond this applicant to fix that perceived issue. Yeah. So if you want to adjourn, we'll accept the adjournment, and we'll come back and report back to you next month, and hopefully look to close it down then, but that's kind of how I see it.
So, Mr. Chair, what I put in for the record, too, if between now and the next meeting, you're able to meet with town staff consultants and work out a solution, then I think town staff can also prepare a resolution just so it's ready if progress is made. So you could close the public hearing in one meeting and get a resolution as well if the matter's resolved.
Courtesy is appreciated.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'd agree. So with that, and because these are a couple of serious issues, I think we will go ahead and adjourn for this time and then take this back up at the next meeting. So could I have a motion to adjourn the public hearing?
So moved.
To April 15th?
To the April 15th meeting, yes. Thank you.
Second?
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
You bet. You too. Okay, the next item on the agenda is iPark Warehouse Development. We will open the public hearing, but then immediately adjourn it. There are some changes that are going on by the applicant, and they have some meetings with town officials and staff. So with that, could I have a motion to open the public hearing for iPark Warehouse Development?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And I'll accept a motion to adjourn the public hearing
So moved.
To what date?
to April 15th. April 15th, 2025. So we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah, just
And with that, strangely enough, we've covered all the business of the planning board for this evening, so I'll accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved?
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, as I mentioned everybody in an email a few days ago, I think, are you still prepared to give us a brief instruction? That'd be great.
It would be really, I think, easier if everyone kind of sat around the table. We can do that.
So even this island is drivable.
Oh.
Can you come around this and come in this way? That's what Scott was saying. Put the truck in? Yeah. Then don't you have to change the I think that's what we're going to right now.
ultimately that affects